What if you could wipe your investing slate clean and start over in 2025, knowing what really works, not just what gets hyped? Imagine all your years of hunting for the next best ETF distilled into one simple portfolio that actually builds wealth and pays you every month. You don't need a million moving parts, nor do you need to chase endless trends or try to time the market. Instead, you can rely on a setup that delivers in both the good years and the bad ones. Wouldn't you want to know what those two ETFs are? That's exactly what we're unpacking today. Forget juggling 15 funds, reading dozens of forecasts, or spending sleepless nights wondering if you've diversified enough. The truth is, successful investors rarely have bloated portfolios. The ones who sleep well at night are the ones who keep it simple and stick to what works for years, not months. Let's start at the beginning, the moment realization strikes. You're scrolling through financial news, hearing about dozens of ETFs designed to beat the market or target specific sectors, like AI or emerging markets. Each promises something shiny, but when you piece it all together, you notice the returns start looking average. Or worse, you feel overwhelmed, always switching, rebalancing, guessing what's next. You're doing everything the textbook said, and yet you feel like you're just treading water. But there's a better way. There's a way that doesn't require you to be an expert in every niche, nor spend half your weekends tinkering with allocations. That's what this 2 ETF approach offers. A way out of the complexity trap and into a life where your investments work for you, not the other way around. Let's set the stage with something Warren Buffett said that sticks with anyone serious about wealth building. Most people would do better with a simple approach. Look at the world's most successful businesses. McDonald's doesn't try to serve every type of cuisine. Apple doesn't make every gadget under the sun. They focus, they master, and they repeat. In investing, it's not about how many vehicles you collect, it's about choosing the few that quietly compound over time. So if you were forced to start over right now in 2025, what would you choose? After years of testing, balancing, and learning, the answer is almost unnervingly simple. Just 2 ETFs. The first, a fund that delivers reliable monthly income through dividends and a smart option strategy. The second, a fund that takes care of long-term compounding growth, so your net worth rises behind the scenes. Let's dig into the first ETF, a fund that acts like your personal apartment building, sending out rent checks every single month. Imagine having an investment that not only owns hundreds of the little powerhouse businesses in the US, the Russell 2000 Index, but also actively generates extra income by writing covered calls. This ETF isn't just sitting on stocks waiting for appreciation. It's hustling, collecting both dividends and premiums from options each month. It's called the Global X Russell 2000 Covered Call ETF, or RYLD. Here's the magic. With RYLD, you own a basket of 2,000 small-cap companies. Instead of hoping one rockets while the rest snooze, you write call options across the index. That means people pay you up front for the right to buy those stocks at a higher price later. You keep the dividends and the premium, 2 paychecks from one holding, month after month. The upfront yield is major, often pushing double digits. But what you sacrifice is some upside. Because you're letting go of the moonshot, you instead get consistent income. A monthly payout that you can depend on. For someone managing budgets or simply wanting predictable cash flow, it's a powerful tool. It feels like salary, except it comes from your investments, not your job. It's not a get-rich ETF, but it is a sleep-well ETF. Now, the income engine alone isn't enough. Here's where most people mess up. They chase only yield, forgetting inflation eats away at their hard-earned income. You need growth, serious growth. So into the other half of this simple portfolio comes the Schwab US Large Cap Growth ETF SCHG. SCHG is not flashy, no gigantic yield, no monthly payouts, but behind the curtain, it's quietly stacking up returns. This ETF focuses on the titans of innovation: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Google. These aren't just companies, they're empires. What makes SCHG special is its track record, consistent double-digit average yearly returns. That means your wealth isn't just preserved, it's multiplied. SCHG's passive approach is designed for true long-term investors. It tracks the Dow Jones U.S. Large Cap Growth Index, which means you get access to top tech-driven growth companies like Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and Google without paying a premium in fees or taking unnecessary risks. Its low turnover rate and efficient management also add a layer of tax efficiency, making SCHG especially appealing in taxable accounts where minimizing distributions really matters. Over the past decade, this fund has delivered annualized returns around 18%, proving that disciplined, low-cost investing beats costly, high-frequency trades in most environments. Whether the market is booming or taking a breather, SCHG consistently performs, letting investors stay the course and focus on what truly drives wealth for the future. Now, here's the fun part. By blending RYLD with SCHG, you build a portfolio that's both a machine for monthly income and a turbocharger for growth. Together, they cover what most investors seek but rarely attain: consistency and scalability. At different life stages, you might lean heavier on one than the other. Early career, maybe 70% SCHG, 30% RYLD, prioritizing growth. Later, as income needs rise, sliding closer to a 50-50 split. In retirement, the inverse, 70% RYLD, 30% SCHG, locking in the steady payouts. The flexibility of this setup is a sleeper advantage. You rebalance twice a year, not every month. If SCHG shoots ahead, you trim a bit and tilt back to RYLD. If income becomes the priority, you shade the balance accordingly. But you keep your life simple. No more chasing news headlines or reacting to every blip. Here's another edge. These ETFs are easy to own in tax-advantaged accounts. RYLD produces monthly income, which fits nicely into a Roth IRA, shielded from the tax bite. SCHG is tax efficient on its own, with fewer distributions. These aren't just great for growing capital, they're designed to work quietly in the background, leaving you free to live your life. Let's rewind. Why bother with this just two setup, especially when Wall Street constantly pushes complexity? Because the world rewards those who master basics, repeat the process, and remain patient. Compounding is only magical if you stay invested. The more you tinker, the more you lose. Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. When your investments earn returns, and those returns themselves start earning, you build something that grows on autopilot. Imagine yourself a decade from now looking back. Were you happy poring over hundreds of holdings, always second-guessing? Or would you rather see a portfolio that made you money every month, steadily increased your net worth, and gave you time back? Stick with what works. SCHG is your future fund. It's where you send extra paychecks, bonuses, side hustles, all earmarked for growth. You don't watch it every day. You don't stress over headlines. RYLD is your salary ETF, the workhorse sending you monthly payments so you can relax in turbulent markets. Alone, each one is powerful. Together, they're unstoppable. People underestimate simplicity. They chase shiny objects, then wonder why they don't get rich. It isn't complexity or perfect timing that delivers results. It's routine, discipline, and a system you actually follow. Twice a year, you rebalance. If SCHG becomes a runaway train, you nudge some back into RYLD and vice versa. All the while, your money keeps working. You don't time sectors, you don't guess at trends. You focus, you automate, and you let dollar-cost averaging and compounding grow your wealth. The beauty of this approach is that you don't need an MBA in portfolio theory. All you need is a commitment to consistency. A 2E TF setup cuts through the clutter, frees your mental bandwidth, and gives you the confidence to ride out whatever markets throw at you. The next time your friend brags about beating the market, ask how much stress that brought. Ask if they actually slept through the last correction. You want peace of mind, not just returns on paper. With RYLD and SCHG, you invest in the real drivers, income you can count on, and growth that compounds in the background. Make sure you're sending a fixed amount into SCHG every month, like a bill you pay yourself. Forget market timing. Dollar cost averaging is your friend. Picture your future, monthly passive income rolling in, your future fund quietly swelling with the titans of innovation. You've built your investments on foundation, not hype. No more chasing hot sectors, no more trading every uptick. You're building wealth, not just investing. Even when the market turns choppy, RYLD keeps paying out. SCHG keeps growing for the long run. The more you automate, the less you stress. You'll look back and realize true freedom was never about picking the hottest stock or jumping at every opportunity. It was about discipline, about sticking with what delivers month in, month out, year after year. This isn't theoretical. Between 2014 and 2024, SCHG produced average returns between 13% and 15% per year through up cycles and rough patches alike. That's real compounding, not just numbers on a screen. RYLD's yield, pushing double digits in recent environments, means you aren't left hoping for quarterly payouts. You get paid monthly, right when you need it. Here's the real kicker. Most people try to outsmart markets, only to get burned. The 2 ETF approach removes that temptation. You aren't getting rich overnight, but you're compounding wealth for the long haul. When inflation bites, SCHG's growth keeps you ahead. When volatility spikes, RYLD's monthly income stabilizes your cash flow. You stop being reactive and start being strategic. Remember, neither ETF alone is a magic bullet. Combined, though, they form a portfolio suited for anyone who wants simplicity, reliability, and real results. Adapt the split based on whether you're chasing growth or need income. The strategy flexes as your life does. What's the alternative? Complexity without results. Funds that promise the world, then deliver headache. Portfolios that need constant babysitting. Or you can pick a pair of ETFs, automate the process, and let time and compounding do their work. You want to build wealth with ETFs in 2025? It's simple. Global X Russell 2000 Covered Call ETF, RYLD for monthly income, and Schwab US Large Cap Growth ETF, SCHG for compounding growth. Share this video with someone who needs a reset in their portfolio, because sometimes the simplest choices make all the difference. Start your journey to reliable income and long-term growth right now. Claim your financial freedom in 2025 and beyond.